Thank you for joining us today here on Desertwood Days. And I am your host, Kathy Blaze. Today I am here with the lovely, talented photographer, Cibola Henderson.
Hey.
Hey there. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Such a pleasure. Such a pleasure. Cibola, I know you are, I'm going to say you're a very popular photographer around town. Yes, you are. And I've seen a lot of your work, and you're very good at what you do.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
What was it that got you interested in picking up that camera?
Well, my mother was actually a clothes designer. So we traveled a big portion of my life with her designs and going from place to place to place. So I always liked fashion and just the way people would look and, feel good and all that stuff. And how I got into photography was accidental. So in high school, I had to have another class, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this because the dark room sounds really cool. Okay, so I'm aging myself, but yeah, there was a dark room.
Being fast.
Yeah, and I actually really enjoyed it and liked it and learned a lot. And then life goes on.
Yeah.
And that was, okay, a hobby, whatever. And fast forward to, goodness, like I was about 35, I want to say. And my husband was working with a music artist, and they had hired some photographers to come do this shoot for his album. And me, I'm just always in the mix. And I had my cell phone, and I wound up taking some pictures with my cell phone just while we were doing the shoot, helping like move him around and, get some good shots. And he wound up using the picture off my phone for his album cover.
Really?
Instead of
the professional pictures.
One of the photographers that was there kind of was an older gentleman and just was like just doing it to do something and learn something new. He gave me his camera, and he was like, you have an eye for this and you should be doing this. And I had never really thought about it until then. I was like, I actually really like this. So,
well, you know what? I love what you're saying. You started this with your mom when you were a young girl. And that was one thing we were talking about on one of a few of our other shows, is that, we do these things as a child because it's fun. I mean, our parents are doing things, and then we grow up and life changes and we stop being fun and stop doing things that we enjoyed as a kid until some way it pops into our life. Maybe, I don't know, this divine being, God, tapping you on the shoulder saying, hey, I gave you that. Isn't that something?
You have to pick it back up. Yeah.
Yes. I love that. So were you taking pictures for your mom when she was out doing her designs?
I wasn't, because I wasn't thinking along that route. I was just doing it for class and trying to figure out how to fit the letter L with a person. Like they would give you these strange assignments, but I didn't realize how they were actually teaching you things that you'll use the rest of your life.
Right.
With lighting and kind of shapes and finding your
depth. How did it feel when the gentleman used your picture on his cover?
I was like, are you sure? Because there's like some really good photos over here. It felt good. I was flattered, but I just was like, oh, well, okay, I guess this is happening. And then once I started shooting, I love the creative aspect of it. I love styling the shoot and it's, as an artist, you get like this thing in your head, this image in your head, this look that you want. And you chip away until you get what you're trying to get.
Right.
So to be able to style your own shoot, to be able to choose, the models you want to work with, whether they're the quote unquote models that are the standard sizes or whatever. I always like to get the art out of whatever image I'm doing. And I haven't gone to school for photography. I mean, I've taken different online stuff, obviously, to learn more about editing, which is not my favorite thing to do. I'll clean it up. I'm not a graphic artist. Any photographers out there, you'll understand what I mean. people will be like, okay, take my picture. Can I be in front of a fairy princess castle? And you're just like, well, there wasn't one there.
Right. And I don't think I can put it there.
Well, I could if I was a graphic artist, but I'm a photographer. So I just like to take and get the beauty or the image out of the individual. And then we just
You know what? And I think
speak.
that's what, as artists, we do. Let's say you may be an actor, but you also take on all these other pieces to make what you do um, come across the way you want it to. I guess I can say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to perfect what you're trying to do. So, being a photographer, you're putting your eyes and your hands into the the view of someone that does lighting,
Mm-hmm.
as much editing as you can. I mean, if it's taking classes, so it's not just being a photographer,
Yeah, you don't just pick up
right?
people. I love when people look at an image that you have and they're like, you must have a great camera. And I'm like, I wasn't there. No, anybody could have just clicked that. That's not how it works. There's a lot of energy, sweat, tears, passion that goes
Oh,
into even one image. As a model, you understand because you've been on that side
right.
of it also. And you had your brand. And when you had hired me years back,
Hmm.
we had a whole discussion before we even booked this, because it's
Right.
about what does that business want from me? What is their image they're trying to get across?
And let's talk about that. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you being a photographer, and not all photographers do this, which I think is important, is meeting with your client
Mm-hmm.
to getting to know what they're looking for, not to for them to call you on the phone and say, "Hey, I want to do this type of theme,"
Yeah.
and you guys schedule a date and time, and he show up or she show up, and you guys shoot. There is so much more that as a photographer you do in the background. And can you explain your process,
Um,
if you don't mind
yeah,
sharing?
no, that's fine. I mean, here's the thing is, as an artist, I mean, you can give everybody the recipe of what you do, but everybody's images are going to be different because
Sure.
everybody has their own style at the end of the day.
Sure.
So when people hire me, I just say, look at my style because it's the kind of images you're going to get. It doesn't mean you're going to have the same picture someone has.
Right.
But as far as my process, anybody that is going to hire me for whatever it is, whether it's a personal shoot, like a boudoir for themselves to make themselves feel good, or for a loved one or whatever, I talk to them about what is their goal with the shoot, what are they wanting. And I've had some women who are plus size and beautiful, and they're like, okay, well, just let me lose 10 more pounds and then we can do the shoot. And I'm like, you're beautiful now, we can do the shoot. Is there something about your body that you're uncomfortable with? Is there something on your face that you're not happy with? If that's the case, I'm very good at posing people and moving them a certain way to get the shapes or to get the lighting to
And you
hide
know what?
something they don't
But
like.
what people tend to forget is that no matter what size you are, you still have to be able to pose right
Yes.
to get that curve and that,
And it's hard
that
work.
correct image. You right. And I always tell people, and I'm sure you do, if it ain't uncomfortable, then it ain't gonna look right.
I have a reputation for, if you're not sore at the end of one of my shoots, if you were a model for a project we're doing, you didn't do it right.
Right.
So you better be
That's
sore.
what I always say. If I'm not sore, it ain't right.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. But I mean, doing photography for me, it's about the experience of the person that is getting the shoot done. Even if you're a model for a project, you want to feel good. You want to feel wonderful about what you're doing and being part of.
Right.
And all parts of it matter, not just the person that you see in the image.
Right.
There's a lot that goes on before we even pick up a camera.
Right. And I'm sure that is something that you have to explain to, especially people in the industry. If it's your normal, I'm going to call your mother, normal James, that's not in the industry. I mean, it's a lot easier for them. A lot of times they don't have those high expectations. They're not bringing you a picture that Joe took and wanting you to create this picture
Recreate
to
that
look
exact image.
exactly like the one Joe's created. And if the body isn't shaped the same on your picture, they're upset. So even as a photographer, you have to go through that drill of explaining to them this I can come as I mean we can create this. It's not going to look exactly like it because you're a totally
Mhm.
different photographer. I have a different style. I mean, how do you deal with that when someone does expects that?
Um, it's always very important, and I had to learn this really early on to set the right expectation at the beginning. And that's why I always have that conversation before we even pick a date or you even
Right.
hire me. Because if what you're expecting is not something that I can feel that I can give you a quality image
Right.
of, I have people I know that I'm happy to send you to
Sure.
in 2 seconds. Um, one of my biggest pet peeves in the world is there's certain types of editing that you can do. They think it's smoothing someone's skin, but you're literally making their skin
Hmm.
completely no lines of any
Hmm.
kind whatsoever, and it doesn't look like the person
Hmm.
anymore.
Right.
And I have people that
Removing their
come to
nose. I mean,
exactly. Oh, I've had some stuff done, pictures of me that I was like, oh no, no,
yeah.
I have lines and I expect
Right.
them to be there
Because it's
because it's
you.
part of my face. I
Right.
love my face. And if you don't, that's fine, but I hired you and give me my face.
Right.
But you want to set the right expectation. Um, there'll always be somebody who may not, even though you spoke
Mm.
back and forth, as you have to actually listen and hear what somebody's saying.
Right.
Um,
And that's
to,
the thing
that's the
is
hard part.
listening. That's,
Yeah.
you know what we were talking about. I applied you for all the work that you put in beforehand, before your shoots, because I feel that it's so important. That saves someone from being upset afterwards, not thinking that they got the material that they wanted. I mean, at least when you sit down and you talk to them, you're getting a feel of what they actually want.
Yeah, because people will show you a photo and say, this is what I want.
Mm.
But a lot of times they're not, that's the closest thing that they can get to what they're trying to say. So the more you talk back
And
and
you know
forth,
what?
you
They
can
may
get
not
something
know.
else. Exactly.
I mean, they may have found a picture online somewhere, but they don't know what is actually happening in that photo. So you being able to explain to them, I mean, it may be something happening there that they are not capable of doing or don't want to do.
Yeah, and that's what I'm here for. So I had a client that owns a makeup line, for example, and they were out of town. So I'd be
Mm.
traveling for this shoot. So we had to do a lot of stuff over the phone beforehand. So I asked her specifically, well, can you send me 5 different photos that maybe you've seen that you're trying to work towards with your campaign, your
Right.
marketing campaign?
Right.
She sent me 5 pictures of completely different images, like
Mm.
the total polar opposite. So it was like, okay, let's have more of a conversation of exactly
Right.
what you're wanting, because there has to be, if you're doing a marketing campaign,
Especially when
as you
you're
know,
talking about a marketing
there has to
campaign.
be a theme.
Right.
Like you can have some pretty pictures, great, but at the end of the day, it has to say something and draw people into your
Right.
business. So, what exactly does your business stand for? What are you trying to, have
So
people
you're
see?
offering a little bit of marketing there as
Yeah,
well.
a
Because, you
lot.
know, that's because everyone doesn't know that.
Hmm.
So, I mean, it's better on you for you to give them to assist them with getting what they need
Exactly.
than for you to just I don't want to do the extra work by dealing with these people and just go and give them what they want. So you're preventing a fallout at the end is what you're
And
doing.
multiple shoots, because
Yes.
if we're all here and ready to go, why should you have to shoot it 2 or 3 more
Right.
times? You have other stuff to do, especially as a business owner.
That's
You have a
true.
whole business to run.
Right. So you brought some media for us today so we can look at some of your work.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at it. So can you tell me what's going on here?
Okay, this is the collard green princess, the queen. I always say princess, but queen. Um, Joy was amazing. This is at Tillamook Farms. Um, they they had the whole collard green patch up, and they were actually going to cut it down the day before. They kept it up one more day.
Wow.
So we could do our shoot, which was phenomenal. Ronalda this was her concept. She did the makeup, and then we had Vela on the hair, and she did the bodice. So it was women working together to
Yes.
do a powerful image based upon an artist.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was so cold.
And
Joy was such a trooper.
Joy looks beautiful, but those
Yeah.
greens are beautiful.
Yes.
You can't find greens that look that good in the grocery store.
That's what they look like at 5 o'clock in the morning in January. Yes.
Oh wow, they're beautiful.
Thank you. This is one of my favorite models that I work with. She is phenomenal, Carmelita Christensen. I mean, what can I say? If you look at the shot, that's not much editing. It's just cleaning it up. That's actually what she looks like in real life. And that's what anybody who hires me wants to expect. You're going to have images that actually look like you.
Right.
Yeah. Love her
and
skin.
You know what? I tell you, I've had an image that didn't look like me because they, as we were speaking about, photoshopped and did things. And I'm like, that's not me. I do not. And that's
not what.
And every time I saw that picture, I went, ugh, because I didn't like it.
I have some like that.
Yes.
And I'm like, and I paid you to not look like me. No, I want to look like me.
Of course.
I've seen her once or twice.
Oh.
This is when Kathy and I believe, first time we worked together.
Yes.
She had her ladies and we were doing a concept shoot. So that was really nice.
That was a fun day.
It was hot.
Yes.
And you were a trooper I am a beast with my reflector sometimes. Yes. And you were a trooper.
Downtown Phoenix.
Yes. This is Paige. I absolutely love her. And
has anyone ever told her she looked like Robin Givens?
Yes. She was actually on, I'm trying to remember, X Factor.
Oh, okay.
She made it all the way, I want to say she was in season 8 and she made it all the way to 8th place.
Oh, wow.
Her voice is, oh my gosh, it's phenomenal.
That's awesome.
But that's actually the dressmaker is local here.
Oh, okay. Beautiful. I'll send you her link. Love
She's
that red.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh, this shoot was fun. So this was at the house actually where you ladies got ready for your shoot.
Okay.
This was a couple weeks later. So Mia,
you guys had a party the night before.
Actually, the gentleman there, it's so crazy. The gentleman there has all these empty liquor bottles.
Oh my goodness.
And he has them in rows by the brand. And he was all coordinated and organized. And I'm like, I want somebody in a tub with liquor bottles.
He likes bottles,
so cool. Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. I like to keep wine bottles too.
Yeah, with this shoot, the really neat thing about this one is the mohawk she has as a hairpiece.
Oh, okay.
That was put together.
I love everything about this. Her face, her leg, just everything about this.
She was just giving me absolutely life.
Yes.
And she had been sitting in that tub so long because actually Tori sat there and she set each bottle intentionally in each place where it is. And then the Jack Daniels, that's actually water and maple syrup. She wasn't really drinking on set. But I wanted to show a strong image of basically a model being drowned in what's expected. They're always expected to be at parties. They're always expected to show this certain thing. And
this
she's
certain look. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she's more like the rebel. Like, whatever. I'll be over here while you guys are doing
it. And I love this because you don't, I mean, you don't see nudity or anything sexual about it. I love this.
I am a big fan of the human body in a classy way. Yeah. I feel that there's a fine line between being too crude and not. And that was our goal with her nudity. We did quite a few shots and you will not see anything unacceptable.
Yeah, I love it. I think you did a fabulous job.
Thank you. She was very sore the next day. She did a great job.
I bet she was.
This is actually a local jeweler that I did a campaign for. Falani. And actually that's Joy again.
Okay.
And do you know Barack? That's him as well.
I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we were doing some really strong images and I really wanted, because both of them have such beautiful, clear skin.
Mm.
I'm an esthetician as well, so
Yes.
skin is my thing. Um, and I really just wanted to show how gorgeous and beautiful dark skin can be.
Yes.
And I think everything is gorgeous
They're
about
both
the
beautiful
melanin.
people too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to have that, and then I felt that it really showed the jewelry in a very positive way, and it
Yes.
makes it pop out of the picture. So that's, I mean, when you're doing a campaign for a business, the whole idea is you need the eyes to be drawn to whatever is supposed to be
It's
sold.
not about the models.
No,
Yeah.
they're there, but they did a great
Right.
great job.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Those were lovely.
Thank you.
I
Appreciate
really
it.
enjoyed seeing. So, you're also started a new journey in your life, which is aligned with your photography.
Mhm.
You're an esthetician now.
Yeah. So throughout many, many years, I've done makeup. I've done a lot of that stuff. And unfortunately, in the industry, even though they're getting paid, you'll hire makeup artists, hairstylists, and for whatever reason, last minute, they don't show up. So you always have to have a plan B.
Yes.
So a lot of times I do makeup, or I would micromanage, just stand over somebody and be like, I know you're a great artist, but this is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
This is what we're looking for. So the more makeup I've done, you just start noticing skin.
Right.
And you see these people with these beautiful faces and beautiful images, but their skin. And you're like, I want to be able to help you with that. Like, what do we do? What can I suggest you use? And then I started my journey in skin, and I do body sculpting. Again, I'm just into the form
of the body.
I think,
and I love
amazing.
That because as entertainers, those are the things that we need. So we appreciate you for
Thank you.
starting this new journey in your life. So where can our audience find you?
They can find me on Instagram at Cibola Beauty. It's Cibolah Beauty. On Facebook, CibolaShoots.com is, I think it's, or Cibola Shoots, whatever it is. I'm so bad at social media. I'm getting better, I promise. And I'm trying TikTok, so we'll see how that works.
Lord,
eventually.
okay.
Oh, goodness, yeah.
Well, it was a pleasure having you here today.
Thank you so much for having me, Kathy. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us today here on Desert Wood Days, and we will catch you next time.